Consequences. Let's start with how the world is reacting to President Obama's decision to delay a strike with ABC's chief global affairs anchor Christiane Amanpour in London. And Christiane, this came on the heels of the failed vote in the British Parliament. And the one ally it appeared the president had was President François Hollande of France, the last phone call he made before going out and addressing the United States.
That's exactly right. And according to all sources, François Hollande, the president of France, is still willing to go ahead with the United States if the president does give the order to strike against Syria. That has been discussed in France. He's sticking by it, despite what happened in England, to his closest military European power. And today, the French president and his national security team, whether it's the defense secretary and others there, are meeting to discuss. And there will be a debate in the French National Assembly, their parliament, this Wednesday, but there will not be a vote, unlike what happened in Britain earlier this week, last week.
Meanwhile, we're also seeing the Arab League vote. So far, they have not explicitly authorized or approved of a U.S. strike either. But we just heard Secretary Kerry say that he believes that over the next week or two before a strike, as Congress is getting ready to vote, that they will be able to build support in the international community. Is that what you're seeing? Is that what you're hearing? And how about in England? Any chance of Prime Minister David Cameron going back, going for another vote and getting a win?
Well, on that last point, we were really wondering whether this might happen, because all the talk about what happened in the British Parliament has pointed the finger at incompetence. Incompetence at the whip, incompetence of gathering the votes, of knowing what was going on under their noses before this vote. But today, two senior members of the British government, both the Foreign Secretary William Hague, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, their Secretary of the Treasury George Osborne, have indicated very strongly that the Prime Minister will not seek another vote in Parliament. Therefore, Britain is staying on the sidelines for this one. And that is a huge shock to not only the United States, but to the rest of the world, because for decades, Britain has been the reliable partner to any kind of military operation. And now France will probably be one of the only ones standing with the United States in a military strike. And of course, the point is, though, your question, looking at these pictures and those that you just aired just now, is there any way the president cannot give the order? And I think many of the Western governments believe there's no way, that this is not just ugly, it's unacceptable under international law, and the use of weapons of mass destruction needs to be responded to.
And that is certainly the signal Secretary Kerry sent today. Christiane Amanpour, thanks very much.
Yeah.